Welcome back to Reclaiming America. It's another week, a week later, and here we are again to discuss a little that's happened since the last time we talked.
I don't know what we're going to talk about, Bill. It's been a whole week, and nothing's really happened.
What could have possibly happened? We had an attempted assassination. We had...
we're going to call it that, because remember, the news media wasn't calling it an assassination for
we had an attempted assassination. We had a Republican convention. We've had the president, again, showing how little abilities he has cognitively. And then we had a speech last night that kind of went on much too long.
A bit,
okay. But anyway, aside from that, I'm Bill.
I'm Dan.
And our producer over there, Greta, is with us, and she's there doing her thing. And this is Reclaiming America. Welcome back.
Jump to it. So, little thing happened the other night when I was out to dinner, Bill.
Yeah, I know. We kind of texted during that whole thing.
Well, so I'm sitting in the restaurant, and at the table we're at, I could see the TV behind the bar. And they had CNN on it. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing Trump talk. Next thing I know, I see him ducking. No sound was on. And then the bartender said something to the effect of, Trump just got killed. Because they didn't know at that. I mean, this was
nobody knew at that point.
Yeah. And which is why I started texting you. I'm like, what the hell's going on, right? So, wow. Did you ever think we would get to this point?
No, but it did take me back to when Reagan was shot.
I did. Remember, I've talked about this.
Yes.
That this was coming. I have talked about it for months now. And guess what? I think it's going to happen again.
I'm not going to comment on that because...
God, I hope not.
I agree with you. Since it's happened, I mean, there's just so much inconsistency out there to even try to explain how it happened or why it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a 20-year-old with no military experience, except he goes to the range and shoots a little bit, who manages to get through supposedly the hardest and the best trained people in the world for protection. He managed to climb on a building that no one's paying attention to within 150 yards of the president on a clear lane, and no one's paying any attention to it except all the people that were pointing and saying there's somebody up there with a gun.
I'm laughing because, and we shouldn't be laughing, but you have, I mean, as horrific as this is, you have to laugh at the utter incompetence of, and I'm going to say it, I'm a fan of Secret Service, but to say that they failed on this one is the understatement of the year.
Yep, and then when you listen to the director of the Secret Service, in her infinite wisdom, who starts out by saying, well, the slope of the roof was just so great.
Don't even go there,
we
Bill.
didn't want to put anybody up there. And you're looking at the picture of the guy laying there dead, and the Secret Service agents and police standing over the guy, and there's barely a slope.
Not to mention the people that took him out are sitting on a roof that is sloped.
Severely sloped compared to the other one.
I'm like...
so that doesn't work. Now, the latest one that I heard coming over to do the show is the news standard is that the roof was unsafe to walk on.
Oh, where'd that one come from?
That just surfaced from her.
So what does that matter? They still got up there, right?
Well,
okay. Her argument... Oh, God. I'm going to need a drink again, and I don't drink. Her argument would be that we can't protect that roof because it's not safe to stand on. So that means we can't have somebody on the ground patrolling around the building?
Or on a very simple way, put up a simple sign barrier so you can't see it. I mean, take a Trump sign that's 4x8 and stick it up there, blocking the view. It's not hard.
Well, you get me mad. So the first takeaway that I had watching it, and again, we're sitting in a restaurant, and literally the whole restaurant stops and is watching this video, right? So there's 100 people in there. And the first thing that came to my mind is there is no way they took him out that fast unless they already knew he was there and had their scopes on him. Because you were talking a response in less than 3 seconds.
Yep.
So they absolutely knew he was there. They knew he was a threat.
For up to between a half hour to an hour
before
that's
what's come out now, but I'm talking immediately afterward. I knew something ain't right here. Right.
Well, something even more ain't right. Why would you let the president go out and talk
that's another
when
thing I'm talking
you have a threat out there that's not been identified and located? You've identified that he's a problem, but you can't find him, but he's out there somewhere, and you let the president go out there? That's just ridiculous.
Again, utter failure. People are starting to, why didn't they shoot him right away? I will defend, they can't just up and shoot somebody.
Yeah, they can.
Well, they can, but they shouldn't. I mean, what if it was, and I'll agree with you in a second, because I get your point, but you can't just say, oh, there's a guy on the roof, take him out. I mean, imagine if it was a 20-year-old kid who just wanted to see Trump. And
there's a guy on a roof with either a range fire or he's laying down and he's picking up a rifle. That might be an indicator that we need to blow his brains out before he blows somebody else's brains out.
I agree with you, and they're saying that was a 25-to-1 scope, so 20 for every foot it sees 25. They could not only see that he had a gun,
they could probably
count the pimples on his face.
They could also get the serial number of the weapon at that distance.
And again, the ROE, rules of engagement, were we got to ask for help. We got to get okay first. That's what we're guessing is the case.
I haven't heard the ROE for this one.
Do not, you are not, I have. You are not to shoot unless that person fires.
Well, that's right.
That's beyond stupid, right?
You know what?
I mean,
we're here to protect the president, but after he's shot, we're going to take him out.
I get you see this guy on the building, something isn't right, train your scopes on him, but you can't just shoot at that point.
The minute the man picks up a weapon,
you see a weapon, boom.
The minute the man
I agree,
aims it anywhere,
100% agree.
I mean, the man is history.
And they knew he had a weapon. I don't care what, they're going to spin this forever. I don't care what anybody says. You shoot, I shoot, Greta shoots. We all know. When you got a scope trained on something, I mean, I've shot out to 300 yards with that type of scope, and you could see the tiniest of bullseyes. Come on. And the guy was literally looking through the scope. There's no way they didn't know. Can we at least be honest about that? That's the problem I have with all this, right? Because it's fueling all these conspiracy theories.
Did you see the other picture that surfaced today? Behind him in the audience, and I forget the woman's name.
Oh, the FBI woman.
The FBI assistant director, who when the firing started, picked up her camera and started filming what's happening.
But Bill,
she's the assistant director behind him, maybe a row or two behind, and they got pictures of her standing there with her camera filming the event.
Again, I don't want to read too much into all this stuff. You know, the guy that got the iconic photo, I call it the Iwo Jima photo because it's going to be that popular, he never ducked either. He was right there. You know, and the question I have is, he's holding out his camera, and I'm like, how do you not know that's not a gun? What? The press corps,
nowadays, you don't.
The press corps is lucky one of them didn't get taken out after.
Oh, when I saw when a few of them tried to come up on the stage.
Oh God!
When they had surrounded him and put him on the ground, and a couple of those rifles, they kind of aimed and said, "I think you should go down," and they kind of backed off.
Well, did you see the one guy? So they get Trump to the car, and there's a guy in full military gear. I'm assuming he's SWAT, but I don't know. And he's got, I'm going to call it an M4. I don't know for sure. And he brings it down at the windshield. I'm like, go look the video. It's there. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, how did they not go, dude?
Blow him away.
No, they shouldn't have. I mean, he wasn't trying to hurt him, but it just accidentally brought it down. He wasn't, all the responses that you saw, I give credit to the Secret Service agents that were near the stage and how they responded. I believe the snipers did the best job they were allowed to do. How is this, what's her name? The chick that's in that? Cheadle. How is she still in that chair, in that seat?
Don't know.
This is criminal.
Because there's no one except the president and an act of both houses of Congress that's going to take her out of there, and that ain't going to happen.
How do you even, I know Biden's got no brains, all right? My cup of oatmeal this morning has more brains than he does. How do you not say you failed, period?
You heard what she said to the senators in the briefing in the Zoom reading that morphing? Let us start out by saying the assassination attempt was a failure. Tell that to the man who's dead and his family and the two that were wounded, and tell them that it was a failure.
Well, that's why I did a video on my other channel that I have, a tribute to the firefighter. talking about it, because I was getting pissed because people were, the whole he missed, oh, it's too bad. Those people. And I'm like, he didn't miss. He hit 3 people and killed 1. He did not miss. And of course, I got blowback. That's not what we mean. Bullshit.
I believe the account where 8 rounds went downrange from him.
8 or 9, they're saying. Which again, how does someone get off 8 or 9 rounds with a sniper looking right through the scope? I mean, and they responded as fast as they could, but I mean, the scary part is, Bill, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. It's not the first time it's going to happen. I think it's inevitable. They being the lunatics that they've created. I'm not going to go into this was, I don't think for a second this was Biden doing this or anything like that. I think this is somebody who was mentally disturbed, got radicalized by all the stuff. And he took the tweet down, So, you got Hakeem Jeffries, head of the House, Democratic side of the House, 2 days afterwards calling MAGA, dangerous. What? He took it down. But how do you do that? This rhetoric that they've had, that Trump is Hitler, that MAGA are all extremists, that anyone who doesn't vote Democrat is a threat to democracy. They have pounded it. Our esteemed Attorney General in North Carolina, on a daily basis for months, has called anyone who doesn't support him an extremist.
Yes.
Who's in charge of the courts and the law in North Carolina? The Attorney General.
He's in charge of the law, but
enforcing the law. What I mean? Yeah. If you've got someone at that level making that kind of claim, there are crazies out there that are going to go, well, he told me to do it.
And that's the man running for governor.
And he's running for governor. So they're all worried, they're trying to find all the stuff. We're using North Carolina because that's where we live. On Robinson, how about we have that discussion? Josh Stein, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, they all have blood on their hands as far as I'm concerned. All of them.
So does President Biden for his conduct.
Biden, every Democrat at this point. Every one of them who
labeled the man a threat to democracy, who called him a Hitler, all those things were just excessive and unnecessary and also not true.
And
you want to criticize his policies, go for it. That's your right. But when you start label him a terrorist, for it's basically what you're calling him, a murderer.
Him and anyone who supports him.
And anyone who supports him, that's correct. Which is hopefully over half the country when we vote.
At this point, seeing what we're seeing, we'll be lucky we get to vote, to be honest with you, at this point.
We'll be voting.
Do you realize, people out there, that we were within quarter of an inch, half inch of a full-blown civil war?
Do you realize, and I will say this, and it may not be popular with some of our audience, that was God's hands that saved that man. At the last second,
it was something.
His head would turn just enough for that bullet whiz by him, because if he had left it just a little bit further, it had went in the temple of his head and had been all over.
And that's why, by the way, and I'll just throw this out, this is why I don't buy the conspiracy theories that this was planned ahead by, the deep state, because anyone who knows if you're shooting, you go for center mass, not the head. And had he done that,
not anymore.
Trump would have been.
Not anymore, because with all the armored gear that they wear, you're going for a headshot. I mean, that's where you are nowadays.
The angle he was at. So it was interesting seeing there was a former FBI agent who was talking about how they protect on those type of scenarios. So like all the flags and bunting are in front are all Kevlar. The dais that they're speaking on is protected.
That I'm sure.
He, without saying it directly, said Trump is wearing a bulletproof vest in the front.
Which is why you're doing a headshot.
In the front. This was the key point he was making. The angle the shooter was at would have hit the side. Wouldn't have been protected. So they could have done a buddy shot there. Be that as it may, I'm just saying. It's... What a clusterfuck. I'm sorry. I'm going to use the bad words.
And the worst part of it is the FBI and the Secret Service have earned this right for skepticism against what they do based on all the things that have happened in the last 5-10 years with the Russian collusion,
yeah.
with all the people signing the document that in the 2020 election, with them coming out in weaponization and breaking into people's home fully armed. And yet, if you're a Democrat, they knock on the door and say, "Could you come with me?" If you're a Republican, they break down the door at 2:30 in the morning. They take you out half sleeping. They've earned this. Now, am I saying that every rank and file agent is onto this? No, they're following orders.
Well, again, it goes back to the
leadership.
The majority of them were men, but there was a couple of women that were on that stage responding. Clearly were doing their job. I mean, they buried Trump in seconds. I mean, you have to give, knowing that shots were being fired, he wasn't done at that point. And I'm sure once they dogpiled on Trump, they got in their ear, "We got him," or some variation thereof. But again, you don't know if there's a second shooter sitting there. They have no idea. Right. They willingly did their job, and I don't want to take any credit away from any of them. We can criticize not being able to holster your pistol. I'll grant that one. But in general, all of them, and that's the rank and file you're talking about.
Well, if you look very carefully at the picture where his hand goes up in the air and says, fight, fight, fight. The only reason you could see him was that one little woman was in the front there.
Well,
unfortunately, that was her corner. She just can't block. The man is 6'5".
I know. No, he's not 6'5".
6'3", 6'2".
But, it's... Again, that was actually a mistake, too. Because the fact... They don't know if there's a second shooter or a sniper out there. And I actually said that when he's doing that and he's going, "Bite, bite, bite," I'm like... In my mind, I'm like... Oh, God, because he's at risk. They could have taken him out. So that was actually another failure. And again, I get it. It's Trump. Trump is a big guy.
Their job is to get him off the stage, get him in the vehicle, and get him out of there, Dodge, as quick as they can.
Go back to Reagan.
That's what their job is.
When Reagan got shot, you didn't see Reagan.
But the escort wasn't even ready to go.
Yeah,
no.
That was it. That's another point that Greta just made. The escort wasn't ready to go. I mean, at every level there were mistakes made. But I don't want the rank and file agents that were responding to be held accountable. This goes to the very top.
This is leadership, or lack of same.
Like we were talking about the rules of engagement. To tell a sniper team, you can't fire until somebody fires first. Now, if you're looking through the scope and you legitimately see a weapon, that's it. Period.
You see an eye on the other side of the weapon, that's a hint. A rather strong one.
And they saw him for 20 minutes ahead of time?
At least. Some people are saying an hour, some people are saying 25 to 30. Depends who you want to listen to. The point of the matter was the president should never have been allowed to even go in there until he was secured.
Oh, yeah. There's video.
That's number one. Yeah. They should have secured the man first.
There's video of them literally watching him climb up the ladder onto the building and up the roof.
Yes.
This was before Trump took the stage. Hello. It angers me because, again, I just think this was a random crazy that...
And I'm going to go back to our glorious leader of the Secret Service, whose second excuse was the roof wouldn't hold all the weight, which we had people standing on to disprove that. Well, if the roof was a danger, why did you put people inside? That roof could collapse on you. If you couldn't handle up there, if it wasn't standard, why would you put people on that roof or in the roof, in the building?
This was another, again, because you love all these news agencies. They get the ex-Secret Service people and the ex-FBI. One of them's like there's a water tower in the back that has clear line of sight of the whole area and is higher. Why aren't there snipers up there watching that roof? Okay, you can't get up on the roof. Why aren't that's potential risk? Why aren't snipers looking right at it?
I got an even simpler question for you.
Good Lord.
With all the money we spend, they couldn't afford to rent a drone?
Or drone's another one.
The drone just fly up there and look around and identify something?
So here's the question I have for you.
Sir?
Does she or anyone in the Secret Service get held accountable by Congress? Because that's the first step.
Ultimately.
Congress will try, but again, it goes back to exactly what happened with Mayorkas. Even if they impeach him and the Senate refuses to pick it up, it goes nowhere. But there's going to be hearings starting next week with Mayorkas, and then with her, she's going to the subcommittee, which Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe
the last person.
She chairs the subcommittee, though she's also on Homeland Security. and she'll be seeing Majorca Monday, and then later in the week they bring in the lady in.
That's the last person we need.
With all that being said, it's time for us to take a break and contemplate all the wondrous things we've shared with you, and then we'll come back and we will discuss the Republican convention. So hang in there for Reclaiming America.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Reclaiming America. So we've set aside the depressing stuff at the beginning, and we're going to head into
Really? It's going to get better?
even more depressing stuff. So I'm going to give Bill his due because, even though we all knew it was going to be JD Vance.
We didn't last week because we all didn't pick JD Vance, did we?
Did we?
Well, I made my pick.
And were you right?
Well, that was the right pick. Instead, we got
Actually,
JD
I
Vance.
think she spoke too. I saw her speaking.
But yeah, so let's start with Trump's nomination, of Mr. Vance.
Which is an interesting nomination. It really is.
Go ahead. I'll let you go first.
He is.
Then I'll have my turn.
He's a senator from Ohio, which is a battleground state, which he can help deliver. He also has ties to Kentucky, which would be helpful there too, which doesn't hurt him at all. He is probably the epitome of Middle America. You talk about, my relatives in Oklahoma, my relatives in Texas. I hear him talk, and I hear my cousins, and I hear my other relatives. I think he's going to go over well with people. Now, maybe it's my damn Yankee side of me that kicks in and thinks he talks a little slow, whatever else, but I think he's going to do just fine.
So
I think he's going to add a lot to the ticket.
He's folksy.
Yeah.
With an OLK, yes.
I have nothing against the man.
No, I don't either.
But I'm going to say this. Does nothing for me. Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Mike Pence to me. I'm
No,
sorry.
I don't think so. I think it's different.
I don't for 1 second think he's any different. He got picked because he'll be a good little acolyte. He'll play the game for as long as Trump's president. There's nothing that stands out to me. He was picked to deliver Ohio, which Ohio's going to Trump anyway, based on the polling. It's not even going to be close there. I'm not nothing against him.
I think you're talking more than Ohio. I think you're talking about that whole Middle
Kentucky,
America.
Kentucky's red anyway.
It may be red, but there's some.
And let me finish.
Yeah, shut up, Bill. Okay. I'll drink
He
for a
just
minute.
can't handle it when I. Now, let's take Tulsi out of it because I know that you're going to go there. She's out. There were better picks, I think, that could have sent a message. I'll throw out Tim Scott as an example, right? Somebody like that is, back before she screwed the pooch, literally. Kristi Noem, somebody like that. This was a safe pick. It's nothing that wows me and most people, to be honest with you, that I've talked to. They're not against the guy, but nobody was against Pence either, I would like to have seen Trump step up his game a little bit and pick someone a little more out of the milquetoast mainstream. Because the criticism that you're seeing is, and it's justified, he picked another white guy, right? So you throw in a Scott, even Cruz, even Rubio, somebody like that, I think would have been a better pick as far as sending a message. That all said, I have nothing against the guy.
Well, I think, first of all, you need to look at it a little bit further than that. I think he delivers, and I think really possibly he might be the key to turning out some of the 25 million religious voters who haven't been voting. I think he may be the clue to reach out to them, and they're going to listen to him because of the way he talks, his background. He's straight up. I think he can do a dent in that non-voting bloc and deliver that to Trump. And then you go one step further. He may be the white guy on the other white guy on the ballot, but he brings with him a minority wife. She's Indian.
The Democrats are already all over that.
Yeah, and I think that she's a very intelligent, very nice woman.
I heard her speak.
And she's a lawyer herself. I mean,
she should have been the one.
Well, I don't. I'm not going there because that's not my decision.
But
However, I think you bring in you have a blended family, which is very typical now of many American families. She's a bright woman. She adds a lot. She's a lawyer. Adds a lot to it. Add her record, and if you look at both their records, they're not all solid Republicans. She was a Democrat up until about 6 years ago.
He was anti-Trump.
And he in 2016 voted against
Very
Trump
much
in the
against
election. So they've come around, and again, that is an example to outreach to people who say, well, maybe, if he voted against Trump and he's now supporting him, and he was supporting him before he got the nomination, maybe I could relook at this. So I think you got something there.
I don't. You're blinded by your shirt, the red color.
What a coincidence, me wearing red today.
I have, again, nothing negative about the guy. He doesn't wow me. Obviously, we're 4+ years out from 28, but there is nothing that you can say to me that makes me go, I can't wait till he's running in 28. There's nothing right now as we stand, which is 4 months before the election.
This is Trump's time for this 4 years.
Yeah.
His job is to sit back there, support the man, deliver. He knows the Senate. He knows if he's going to be the president of the Senate or the vice president, he can help deliver the votes they need. I think it's a good choice. Excuse me, I didn't hear that.
How's that different from Pence? And I love Pence. I think he was a great vice president. He did his job more than adequately. Certainly better than the current one. Again, Bill, this was an opportunity I think that's been missed, all right? That they could have really reached out and said, like you're talking about middle America, right? Forget Kentucky and Ohio. Just reach out to the center of the country, meaning not geographically, politically. And I think they had this opportunity. Imagine now, you look at the polling. Black men are leaving the Democratic Party in waves. Throw a Tim Scott in there or somebody equivalent. Hispanics, they're leaving in waves the Democratic Party. Instead, they put in another white man. And again, I hesitate saying all this because I don't want it to seem like I'm against him personally. It's the safe bet.
But in this particular case, they're leaving the party because of an icon, which I think is Donald Trump. He is drawing them.
I don't disagree, and that's the problem. What happens
after his term is over? I'll let you know in 3.5 years.
Or if he doesn't survive it. That's the other side. Especially after what happened last weekend, right? What happens if in 25 Trump's not there? Is JD Vance something that's going to inspire me to be excited? No, it's not. I'm sorry. Again, he could be the greatest person. He just doesn't wow me. And this is where I'm saying, you look at, he's the safe bet. He's the,
I think he's more than the safe bet. Because what you're going
He's the Republican way, right? We're going to go the safe route. We're not going to take any risks. We're not going to rock the boat.
I think taking him was a risk.
Oh, I don't think. Democrats are going to slam whoever puts in there. So they're jumping on him because he said a few things about women.
You're right. If you wanted to go and not take a risk, you had Scott. You had Rubio. You had DeSantis.
They could have found somebody.
You had DeSantis. You had people that they could have grabbed. You had even Tulsi. You had Noam who blew it herself.
I joke about Tulsi, but let's be honest. She was never really. She had a 1 to 5% chance. That would have been ideal, I think. That's the type of person that sends a message.
I don't know if she would have delivered what you needed at this time. You need to win this year. And I think he can help deliver.
Do you honestly believe?
Yes, I do.
After that events of last Saturday, that Trump's losing this election?
It's not over till it's over. And
I agree with you.
A famous man named Yogi.
Come on, Bill.
I don't mean Bear.
Even the Democrats, and we're going to get into more in segment 3, have raised the white flag going, we got to get Biden out because now we have no chance. Right? So they're going to throw up some sacrificial
I'll
lamb.
throw you a sacrificial. I think they want to do two things. I think they want to get. I think they really believe that Trump could pull this off, and I'd like to see it. But
pull it off.
You know something? I'm not one to predict a wave. I will never predict. I'll never go to a wave speech again.
Your prediction record is not that good. But I will be honest with you, and I've said it before. I had not fully decided whether I was going to vote for Trump. I liked a lot of what Kennedy said. I would never vote for Biden. God, no. But I wasn't solidified, and I was open. After what happened Saturday, unless Trump pulls some really stupid thing, there's no way I'm not voting for him. And I'm going to say this. My wife, who's as non-political as there is, ended up unfriending a bunch of people on Facebook because they were, the ones going, "Oh, it's too bad they missed."
Oh.
So she is as center as you can be, and non-political. I can't speak entirely for her, but I kind of know she's voting for Trump now.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, she's doing it not because she's political, because it's the right thing to do.
These
people, you don't want to deal with people that are so insensitive that you can say it's a shame they missed.
She's a FU vote.
Okay.
That's exactly what she is.
There's a lot of people that think Fordham University is a very important place to go to.
No, she is I am not going to stand by and watch what's being done anymore vote. And there's a lot of them, Bill. There's a lot of people, center left, center right, that are looking at.
But I'm telling you what I think the Democrats are up to right now. I think they're going to try and get rid of Biden. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but I think they will try.
Sunday.
And I think they would like to put Harris in there for no other reason that they expect her to lose and get both of them out of the way for 2028.
Who said this last week? Can you remind me who said that last week? And someone said, no, that would be me.
I don't know what you're smoking over in that place of yours.
I have the video.
I'd like a little...
I have it on video.
Wait a minute, videos can no longer be trusted. They get doctored to me where they need to go. I'll get AI after you.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because when we were texting, right, there was that one thing. I'm like, remember, Bill, this could be AI.
Yeah, I know, I remember.
And, it's, again.
But I really think Vance adds to the thing in a very different way. I think he attracts people that you don't expect he will attract because he's got that down-home, homesy bit, which a lot of people are turned off to politics, and that's going to sell to them.
Well, let me ask you this. Based on that argument, how did Pence not deliver the victory in 2020? Because the same thing you're saying about Vance was said about Pence.
First of all,
verbatim.
First of all, we're not saying that they didn't deliver it, but there may have been other reasons why they lost.
Set that aside.
So let's go there.
No, we're not going to go there.
I will give you an additional. What's interesting.
All right, go back to 16. Do you think Pence is the reason why Trump became president in 16?
No, I think it was Trump. Not. Trump was Trump.
Exactly. And that's exactly what it is now.
Now you've got Trump with a record to run on, and people either like or dislike him based on his record, and there's people on the fence because they like his record but they don't like his personality. However, now you've got a guy coming on saying, listen.
There you go, my friend. I'm that person.
But you were swung over by an attempted assassination. I'm talking. There's still people on the fence.
I'm an FU vote now. But all right, so here you go. I'm that person you're talking about.
Okay.
I like Trump's policies. Not the biggest fan of his
mouth.
Presidential decorum. Let's call it.
Ooh, that is
whatever you want to use.
Big words for the week. Presidential decorum.
Tell me why having JD Vance is the man that should cause me to vote
because
for Trump.
It's not going to affect you because you're a Northeasterner. We are talking about. Oh yeah, you are.
I'm a North Carolinian, tried and.
Yeah, and you're born and bred in New York.
No, I deny all that.
You can deny all you want. Facts are facts. We are talking to the down-home people that were raised in these little hometowns around the country that have a lot of lined up feelings with him.
Tell me. Talk to me. Forget about that.
I am not looking. Vance is not going to deliver your vote. Trump will deliver your vote.
I understand.
Vance is out there for all those other people that are on the fence. They lean toward Trump, but they're not sure. He will bring them in to get them to vote. I think that's one of the smartest things he's done.
I'm that person.
No, you're not. You're a damn Yankee who lives down in the South.
You are so full of yourself. You're wrong. I hate to tell you, you're clouded by your red shirt. Okay. I'm not knocking Vance personally. I just am not wowed by him.
And you're not supposed to be.
But I am because, and this is the thing, you're not listening to the public.
You're not listening.
He's never gonna. You're not gonna acknowledge that there's this entire base of people, which make up 70% of the electorate. No, well, 60%. that are not hardcore Republican and hardcore Democrat. He's going to deliver the hardcore Republican. I will give you that all day long. People in the middle are not wowed by this.
People like you from the Northeast will fall in line because of
Stop
policy.
going Northeast. You have not given me one reason other than to say
I've given
I'm
you
a
a
damn
reason
Yankee.
because there's a middle America that has a very different set of rules and mores, which but Vance actually approaches and people like. They will stretch out for him. Here comes Greta.
Walking epitomization of the American dream.
Thank you.
What he brings.
But
There
he's
you go.
not going to deliver.
That's why we
what
give her
you
the
think
big
he is.
bucks.
But people want the American dream on all sides.
Mm-hmm.
Again, when you see what he goes up against, because it ain't going to be Kamala.
Look, I have a lot of very close relatives in Oklahoma, okay? And he reminds me so much of my cousins out there who drive me nuts
I'm
at
not
times
denying
because
any of that,
you
but
can't. And I will
Trump's going to get them anyway.
I'll give you an example. When I came to North Carolina, and this is you again coming in from the damn Yankee side where I'm at. When I first came down here and
can't get
took
off
over
that.
the school I was principal of,
Yeah.
I met with the superintendent, and I forget what he asked me to do, but he said, "I want this done." I said, "All right, I'll get it done in 3 weeks."
Okay.
And he said, "No, you don't understand. Down here, it'll take you up to 6 months to get that done because if you do it any
Takes
sooner,
6 months to get
people
a
will
menu
think
at a
you're
restaurant.
snookering them."
Yeah.
So that's just the way it is. He will go out there and he will sell to those people who are on the fence but leaning Trump, and he will bring them in. And I think that was a smart move. And now we're getting close to
I
wrap-up
think
time.
you're in wishful thinking land,
And
which
he's
you'd
cute.
love to live on. Oh, there it is.
And by the way, but you know what else he is and we haven't brought up?
I can't disagree with you.
He's the
on that
next
one.
Gen. He's the next Gen Z, is it? He's the first coming out of Gen Z at that level, which is going to bring a whole bunch of
Not
other
Gen
people.
Z, he's millennial. How old is he?
39. He's 39.
That's millennial.
Right? He's the first millennial running at this level. But he will deliver Gen Z, who has actually gone
Oh, I
conservative.
think you are true red. I'll give you that.
We have to take a break now.
You bleed red.
And pay some bills, and then we'll be back to finish up Reclaiming America when Dan can again understand the wisdom that cometh from this side of the table.
Except
Back
I've been
soon.
right every time.
Welcome back, everybody, to the final segment of Reclaiming America. We've had a spirited discussion, and I've been explaining to Dan the many ways he's been wrong, and we'll pick it up from there.
Every
and
time
keep
you
going.
say that, I've been proven right. I'm just saying.
Maybe right of center, but never right. We'll take it from there. Anyway, we have a discussion to make because I understand that if people
Rumors
to
are
be to
flying,
believe
Bill.
rumor control,
Rumors are flying.
that this may be the last weekend of the candidacy of Joseph Robinette Biden.
This also may be the last weekend of him being president.
I'm not sure about
There's
that.
the rumor out there. Oh, it's out there.
Well,
Go ahead. I'll let you talk, and then I'm
you know,
going
at this particular point, he's out there denying everything, that he will be there forever and he's going to take the
And
nomination
I actually believe he thinks that.
because he's not been shown one thing, quote, that shows that he can't win this election, nor has anybody shown him that he has any mental issues or physical issues that would cause him not to win the election. So, and those are almost verbatim quotes from his staff, from his people. So the reality is, I don't think he will be the nominee. Okay. However, the question is going to be, when does he leave? I personally think shortly before the Democratic convention, and it's going to be before the 31st.
Which is a week away as we're filming this,
Yeah,
roughly.
And it may go into maybe the first couple days of August, but I do believe the 31st in a number of states is cut off to change anything, and then you can't. And so they've got. That's why they're talking about a roll call vote ahead of for Ohio and places like that ahead of their actual convention, because they foolishly didn't do what they needed to do to get him on the ballot. So I really think you're going to see him say, "I will finish my term, but I will not run again."
You think he's going to say it?
He will come out there and they'll lead him out there, and his wife will be standing next to him holding his hand, and Jeff Dunham will come out and put the words in his mouth, and he can be the dummy.
The sad part is Jeff Dunham's Walter would be a better president than Biden is right now.
Peanut would be a better president than Biden
I
is
would
right
vote
now.
for Peanut in a heartbeat. I love
What
Peanut.
about Ahmed?
But
Ahmed would also, I kill you.
so as we're filming this, it's before Sunday, and by the time it comes out, it'll be after Sunday. But the rumor is Sunday, Biden will be stepping down from the campaign. You're saying he's going to be out. Do you think it'll be by Sunday? Go on record so when it comes out.
I think it'll be before the end of the month. I'm not sure about Sunday.
I'm going to say Sunday.
You maybe.
I'm going to believe the rumors.
You know, even a stop clock is right twice a day.
Because
so just keep that in mind.
If you think he's got COVID, come on. Really? You know, COVID.
I had to give you that one.
I know, but
You know, he's got COVID. You know,
It's
someone
gonna-
said it the other day. A bullet couldn't stop Trump. COVID
No.
took down.
Do you know who said that, by the way? It was a CNN Democrat talking head. That's who said it. I think, I almost said Trump. I think Biden will be out by Sunday.
Now the question is, who is the candidate?
Well, let me go further before we get to that.
Okay, sir.
So not only will he be out of the campaign,
You think he's going to be out of
I
office?
think he's going to be out of office, maybe not by Sunday, but in the very, very near future. Because I'll tell you why. Because the minute he goes out and says, I've decided not to, they're all going to come at, he's not. The Democrats have all said, we're a little worried about his mental fitness. Well, if you think he's not fit enough to be in the campaign, how can you legitimately say he's fit enough to be president?
Because they're not going to say that. He said 2 or 3 years ago, and this is almost verbatim for him too. And if I find out I can't win and run, I'll just make up a
I'm not
disease
talking
I've
about
got.
him. I'm talking about Schumer,
But what
Jeffries,
I'm saying
and all
is,
that.
he can simply say, "I've decided not to run because I'm getting sickly. I can finish my term, but I can't do another 4 years. And based on that, I have to
That's
step
what
down."
he's going to say. I
Right.
don't think they'll let him get to that point. I think they're going to 25th him out.
And I don't know if they will because
I do.
Because the question is going to be,
I'm going on
We'll
record.
know.
I think they're going to 25th him out.
okay, we'll see.
And the argument's going to be because, you saw it with I think they've actually been planning this. I talked about this with the debate, right? This gives them everything they need to justify it to their base, right? He is clearly mentally not able to do the office. If you're going to make the argument with Schumer, Jeffries, Pelosi's all over it, saying he's got to go.
Obama is quietly.
Obama, if you're going to say he's
Clinton's.
not fit to run, they cannot sit there and leave him in the office.
Well, they say he's not fit for another 4 years. It's different than he's not fit to finish his term.
yeah,
You're
but-
talking about 6 months versus 4 years.
No, I'm telling you,
or 4.5 years.
this is going to be soon.
All right,
Now,
well, then-
the question is going to be, and this is where we're going to go now, who are they going to run?
Well, it depends on which scenario you've got. If you go with the scenario that they're going to put him out, Kamala moves up to the number one
Oh.
position up there, and then they got to find the number 2. If you go with the one that I have, then you have a wide open convention.
Oh, I think it's going to be a wide open convention.
No, it's not going to be a wide open convention. If she becomes
No, I
the
don't.
de facto president, she will walk in there and walk away with it.
I don't know. They're a cluster. You know what? I mean, they are. They've got this figured out. Who they is, we don't know. It's somebody we don't know who's running this country right now. Could it be Obama? Could
Well,
it be?
according to him, it's his wife, his son,
Well, again,
Kamala, and her husband.
you keep going to what Biden's going to do or think or say, but Biden's not the equation here. It's what is
The party.
the party head's going to do. And I think, one, let's say they're going to run Newsom or
Budovich.
Buttigieg. You keep going there. I hope you're. That would be interesting, but I doubt he'll ever get in. Whitmer. There's a whole bunch of them, right? Whoever it is,
Right now, you have Camilla. She's already committed to a white male running with her.
But if she.
So that takes out
Right,
Gretchen,
but if they-
unless she's going to do a sex change
But do you think?
or identifies as a male this
Do
week.
you think they really want to run her?
No, I think they've. My personal review is I think they've written off this election, and they're finding a way to clear out the candidates that will do nothing.
So, again, I think they will elevate her so they can make the claim, because it's a PR move, that they got the first woman, black president. Then she's gone in January. Because I agree with you. I think they know it's a lost cause, especially after Saturday. It's a lost cause.
I don't think they let Joe Biden go home, because to do that suddenly, if he retires tomorrow for whatever reason, or says I'm not running tomorrow, and they suddenly 25th amend him, you're going to then have all the people screaming, you could have done this 6 months ago, a year ago,
Well,
3
that's what
years
they are
ago.
screaming already.
So that's why I don't think they're going to do 25th Amendment, because they're going to have egg on their faces big time. Even CNN, who we all know is not exactly right wing, has come out and
Actually,
basically said
somebody
this.
said they were this week.
Did they really?
Because of that quote you talked about, right? They claimed, see, CNN has gone right wing. I went, oh dear God. The people that are on the left, the leaps of logic they are making are bigger than Superman leaping a building. You know, oh, he didn't get shot, because
Was staged.
it was staged. It was glass that hit him because took out this and all. They're just
We're
lunatics.
getting here in time here. So what happens going into the convention next month? Kamala goes in as president, or she goes in in a wide open convention?
I think she's president by then.
I think she's going into a wide open convention.
I'm willing to jump out there and say she's going to be president.
And I'm willing to go up there and
But
take
I'm going
the
to say
opposite
this:
side.
she goes to the convention as president. She's not the nominee for the campaign.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That's
you
my
think
point.
she goes in as president and she's not going to get
She
the
goes
nod?
in- yeah, I do.
I don't think they cannot give her the nod.
I think they're going to go with Newsom. That's my gut feeling. He's going to be the candidate, which will be a gift. If Trump wasn't going to win, Biden's got a better chance of beating Trump than Newsom does. I'll tell you right now, no way Newsom becomes president. He is a snake, and everybody knows it, including everybody in his own state.
Yeah, but again, slightly off in a different tangent, but this just popped this week. The RNC is starting to look into some voter registration issues. For example, there's been a report that's been coming out that the average state is putting in double, maybe triple figures every month of people new registrations. Pennsylvania did 100,000 in a month, compared to 50 to 100 or 150
Well, did you hear the
per average state. And Pennsylvania and another state are turning out 6-figure numbers, 5-figure numbers.
Well,
so something's wrong.
Did you hear the morbid joke that's going around? Yeah, because you know how they're claiming the shooter was a registered Republican?
Yeah.
Well, they're now saying for sure he's going to vote Democrat because he's dead. I mean, it's sick, morbid, but it's not entirely wrong. They've been known to do that.
And he could vote often.
And he could vote a few times. Yeah, somebody else said that. I think they're in such disarray on that side. They're looking to save face, hence why I think
what they're looking to do
just not
is to
gonna let
try
me
and
talk,
cut
is he?
off Trump's coattails. Because their concern is not the presidency anymore.
Doesn't let
Their
me talk at all.
concern is the other two places. But I do not think I think Kamala will be their candidate.
you could be right. I think she's going to be president by August 19th. Is that when theirs?
I'm not sure when their convention
Somewhere in
starts.
there. I think she'll be president by then. Biden will be gone. And I also don't think she's going to be their candidate. I think they're going to throw her this bone. We're going to elevate you to the presidency. Then they get the PR. We got a black woman, first president, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to push her aside.
Do you think for 1 minute the liberal left, the liberal women's group, the NAACP is going to accept the fact that you gave her the job for 5 months?
Well,
Ain't going
I
to fly.
sat this week and watched entire groups of them sit there and go, it's too bad they missed. Oh, there's no way he got shot in the ear. Oh, it's a registered Republican. Oh, they will believe whatever the Democratic Party tells them to believe. They are that,
Dumb,
I wasn't going to use the word dumb,
misinformed.
indoctrinated.
Oh, there's another good word.
It doesn't matter. If the DNC comes out and says, we gave you Harris, but,
All right, so
she doesn't have a chance to beat Trump, and she doesn't. We all know that.
we will see, first of all, by next Friday, whether he resigns this weekend.
Well, no, Monday, but yeah, when this
Well,
airs.
we don't meet till Friday. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I
I don't-
can't
I
gloat
don't-
until Friday.
I don't think he'll be the candidate by then.
Well, then we'll see beyond that. Should he step down,
And
what
by the
happens
way,
after
it's
that?
not him. I don't think he's going to step down. I think they're going to tell him he's down.
I think they're going to let him finish it with honor, for whatever honor he's got left in his brain.
Could be. But you're wrong. You got to remember, these people are evil, Bill, and they are geniuses. They have outmaneuvered Republicans for 40 years. You're thinking logically. Stop it. They don't think logically.
I'm not thinking logically. I'm thinking like Trump.
They think,
and Trump plays his own game, which is
they
not political.
Think, I'm talking about the Democrats. They think from PR standpoint. How can they market this? That's where I'm coming from with it. What better PR do you have than say, see what we did? We made a black woman president. Look how awesome we are. We know she can't beat Trump, though, so we're going to slide in whoever.
I think close
Hillary.
to what you're saying is, God help us. I think
It's
close
out
to what
there.
you're saying is they make a president, and they let her run and get her butt kicked, and that solves a couple
And you
of
could
issues.
be right. I'm not saying that's not a possibility.
You've gotten rid of him. She's now taken out of it because she's got creamed, and now you have a wide open field for 28.
Let's assume she runs. What's the electoral vote going to be? How's it going to break down?
Too early to tell. I don't know who her VP is.
I'm going to tell you what it's going to be: 535 to 0. There's nobody going to vote for her.
I got
No
money
one.
on that one. I'll deliver that one.
You know I'm
Money.
exaggerating it. But,
No, I got you on tape.
come on. What state is she going to carry? She might carry California. She ain't going to carry New York. I'll tell you that right. She's hated in New York. I'll give you California. Maybe. You can't even do Minnesota anymore. Minnesota's equal now. How does that happen? Come on. No, she's not the candidate.
Okay, we'll
And I will
say.
go on record. I believe it's going to be Newsom.
And I'll go on record saying that either I'm not sure between him or Pete who's the vice president
Keep
for her.
going to Pete. You're the only one talking that. So
Yeah, and
you got inside information, don't you?
I can't tell you anything because I would have to shoot you. And we've had enough
Wait a minute.
bullets going
You can't make that joke right now. That is not a good joke to be making right now. All right, we got to wrap things up. Tell them how wrong you are and where they can find us.
Tune in next week for Reclaiming America when we find out which one of us is correct, and Dan apologizes for the second week in a row as I take
didn't
him
apologize.
down. You admitted I was right. That's as close as I ever get from you. So I'll take that. But anyway, if you like what you're seeing, like us, join us, subscribe to us, get us involved. Spotify, YouTube, and a whole bunch of other places.
Apple.
Apple.
All right, we're good.
We're good.
See you
See
next
you
week.
soon.